beg your pardon, that has struck off the coast of Mexico. We've got Phil seated at the news desk with us just to get a better understanding of this. Phil, we talk about an earthquake of this magnitude and we're saying that we're reporting 8, but I mean, if you read deeper, there's actually 8.3, 8.4 that could possibly, I mean, what does this mean? This is massive.
Yeah, so the significance of just those decimal points is this. Every full number that you rise in that scale goes up by 10 times the strength. So a magnitude 7 compared to a magnitude 8, the 8 would be 10 times stronger than a magnitude 7 quake. So that 0.3, 0.4 does make all the difference. But such a huge quake, it's already shaken homes inland, and this struck about 100 to 150 kilometers offshore.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we're seeing some visuals now coming through of street lights shaking. I mean, I even saw a picture of, I think there's within Mexico City, there's this freedom statue angel that is literally about to blow over. It's quite surprising, however, that there wasn't as much damage as one would have anticipated with a magnitude of this. No crumbling buildings. And why was this? Because it was further out into the coast?
Yeah, it was a little bit offshore. You also got to take into consideration what the base rock structure is like underneath. And there are a lot of factors that would really play into that. And I don't know enough about it to really comment on why. But just to give you an idea, Mexico City is about 650 miles away from the epicenter of this quake, which is... I mean, that is very, very far. It's, you know, it's probably the distance from here to Cape Town, maybe a little bit closer than that. So when they're feeling a quake that's happened out at sea that far away, the magnitude is massive. So the wave, by extension, should cause a lot of damage, unfortunately.
So let's move on to this wave, because, I mean, we are perhaps an hour or so away, if less than that, when, I mean, there's tsunami warnings now that this is going to hit not only Mexico. I mean, there are warnings for Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Panama, Honduras. You were even telling me New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand are actually looking at the possibility of it reaching New Zealand at the moment. They haven't confirmed whether it will or won't, but if it does, the waves by the time that reaches New Zealand should only be about half a meter high at a maximum. So it's not too serious for New Zealand. Not too serious.
But you were also saying that the very lucky part is that it was in quite a shallow part that it did strike. It wasn't sort of in the middle of the ocean where these waves could reach what? How many meters are we looking at?
So waves at the moment, they're saying, are going to be about 3 meters. If you're in much deeper water, it displaces a lot more water above the movement of the shells. So the more water you displace, the greater the wave would be. So relative to the depth of the rest of the oceans, if you look at the Indian Ocean tsunami, or if you look at the Japanese tsunami that happened 2011, I believe, those were very deep water quakes, and they caused massive... They were also a lot stronger, but they were very, very deep water quake. So it displaces a lot more water, and the water then all rushes onto shore.
Yeah, hence
so they're very, very lucky now.
What we saw in Thailand and the devastation that caused. So, I mean, I'm reading now that it has officially been upgraded to an 8.4 magnitude quake, and it is felt as far away as Austin, Texas. I mean, and you look at what's happening there. I mean, we don't need any more. I mean, Florida is on high alert for what's happening there. Will this impact it in any way?
I'm sure it will impact it somehow. You know, the slightest movement can really cause havoc when it's such a large quake, it can cause havoc over a huge area, you know. Just to give you a small example would be things like water lines which run beneath the road or something like that. A movement of a centimetre can just shear a water line in half, and then you've got suburbs without water and things like that. It's not going to be crumbling any buildings as far away as the southern parts of America or anything, but the effects are still felt. And really the biggest problem is the tsunami that's coming, because a lot of those areas, especially near the epicenter, they are very, very flat areas. So the tsunami is going to be allowed to travel quite far inland, even though it is a relatively small tsunami at only 3 meters. But 3 meters...
It's a big
thing.
All right, so that's something we're keeping a close eye on. Thanks for giving us some understanding of that. That's something I'm happy to announce that it's a little foreign to us, so it's good to learn some more, but still, this is a devastating issue. I know Phil's going to walk across and do a weather report for us now, but just what we were talking about is that tsunami warning that's been issued after an earthquake of a magnitude 8.4 struck off the coast of southern Mexico, felt as far away as Mexico City. We saw some visuals of some of the buildings shaking, the lights, everything, and the highways are jam-packed of people just wanting to get out of the city before this tsunami hits within perhaps less than an hour. So it's quite devastating. Let's have a look at a couple of tweets that you've been talking about this morning with regard to Uber.